Good day everyone and welcome to Exile News, the weekly show that brings you all the important news and informations on Path of Exile. And on the 23rd of October this year, it will be the third year anniversary for the release of Path of Exile. So actually 3 years ago, Path of Exile was leaving the beta and was formally released, and since then Grinding Gear Games has increased in number, like quadrupled actually. It launched in other parts of the world. It had translations like Brazilian, Thai, Russian and Chinese, and this is pretty much a post made by Chris himself, thanking everyone, from the guys who keep the servers, to the players, to everyone else who contributed to Path of Exile, and it's actually pretty nice from GGG to remember their own origins. Also, we got some new wallpapers, and these are the art images that are behind the passive skill tree when you open them. So if you've chosen the Duelist class, you will get this one. If you've chosen the Marauder, this one, and so on and so forth. There's also a lot of resolutions, so just pick the one you like. I especially like the Witch one, very cool. Also very high resolutions they are available in, so that's pretty good. And there's going to be a weekend of races, which pretty much are 2 days of racing, and from the 5th of November to the 7th of November there are going to be these races every 2 hours. There's going to be a 1 hour race, so it's going to be really packed. If you're a casual player, hopefully you will be able to sneak in your favorite races, like maybe, I don't know, you like Exiles Everywhere, there's a couple of those, or you like the Sand Champions, you might get those ones. If you're an hardcore player, it's going to be like a sleepless weekend, because a race every 2 hours is going to require a lot of energy to keep up with, and there's also a lot of prizes available for a lot of these races, single race and then general points. So GGG doesn't really have the time or the resources to put into a new race season, even though they know it's popular, even though they like the feature. They still don't have exactly enough resources to deal with it, so they are deciding to, or they decided to put most of the resources towards the next expansion, which is the next league, and especially the next act that's coming next year. So we get this weekend, hopefully it will be good enough for those who like racing. And we also got a new build of the week. This time it's pretty much a custom crit using Cos Prismalis, dual wielding Cos Prismalis, which casts socketed spells on crit. So it uses Lacerate especially, or Cyclone for single target, and when it crits it unleashes a barrage of cold spells, in this case especially Arctic Breath. It also uses the Snake Peak new unique ring that you can see, and what this does is granting an additional spell or an additional projectile for spells, and this goes especially well for Arctic Breath and the likes. It also has a Vortex, which is always good and is pretty strong. The new Dying Sun flask is highlighted, although pretty much any build can work with that flask because it's extremely strong. So the build is actually pretty cool. It's just another custom crit, but personally I definitely prefer this version instead of the way more, let's say, common one that goes with Discharge. And it can do pretty much all tier of maps up to the Shaper himself, so that should be pretty good. It's definitely a viable build if you like it. It's also CI, you can see it's above 11k effective life, which means it's pretty good to play also in a hardcore environment, I'm going to say. And yeah, it also utilizes some of the essences. For example, the increased crit chance on gloves, or the life leached and mana leached if you've killed recently, some kind of things that keep the build going, and it's very quick, so definitely a quick spaced build, and if that's your style, be sure to check it out yourself. I don't know how much it costs to put together, but if it's fun, it doesn't matter. And also a bit of a sad news, not so sad, but just the new 2.4.2 patch, which should have contained the 3 new channeling skills, has been postponed again, and it's going to come out together with the 2.4.3 patch, which is going to be most balanced and well, not balanced as in skill balance, but improvements on the game itself, so that it's ready for the 2.5 release, which is going to be the next leaks. So yeah, we are going to have to wait a little bit more for these skills. However, apparently there's also a cool little piece of tech coming in the new patch that GG hasn't talked about yet, and is going to keep secret, and I wonder if this is just the next way to keep the hype going. I don't know how much it can be kept going, because channel skills have been revealed quite a long time ago, and the hype might have been too much for its own good, but we'll see about that. I'm sure there's going to be some very interesting skills, and if not, they are going to be in the future, as GGG always improves on their performances, and doing so manages to be able to create new things, like when they removed the shotgun mechanics, and then they were able to create newer skills, which are extremely cool. So I guess that was it for this week. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment down below. Also, if you want to remain updated every week, be sure to subscribe to my channel. So that was all. I've been your host Giorgio, and I'll see you guys the next time.